is nothing new in this budget, nothing innovative other than having the distinction of being the biggest spending budget Fiji has ever had. Mr. Speaker, sir, this proposed budget will assist or stall Fiji's future development. A budget cannot just look to today, it must consider a future timeline and develop and secure our nation's economic base for the next generation. When I look at the revenue and corresponding expenditure, I see much that concerns me and my colleagues on this side of the House. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honourable Finance Minister has attempted to set a scene for his proposed budget that is a fabrication of the economic realities, in my view. This has served to muddy the waters of his responsibility, which is to continue to steer the economy to recovery under the global setbacks of COVID-19, and to continue to ensure the opportunity and well-being of all Fijians. Mr. Speaker, sir, the manner in which the Honourable Finance Minister exempted the wealthy from this proposal tax burden favoured a well-established company with tax exemptions, increased the tax burden on Fiji's tourism industry, and played a half game with VAT, in my view, is disheartening. A fundamental principle of a just society is that everyone should contribute according to their means, and yet the social responsibility levy has been removed. Fiji Water gains a tax-exempt status. Fiji's biggest brand, tourism, has an increased tax burden, and the poor are considered fortunate because they can buy the 22 items without VAT. Mr. Speaker, sir, this budget spends and spends, but lacks serious direction and bold initiatives. I state this while also acknowledging that there are some highlights in different ministries' portfolios that have the potential to make a difference. Mr. Speaker, sir, one such highlight is the changes within the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection. These changes are a positive response to the growing needs of our nation's vulnerable children and women. I am aware that the Ministry has renewed its commitment to work with civil service organizations, faith-based organizations, and community stakeholders to ensure better outcomes in the service delivery and in the critical areas of gender violence. The budget allocation positively reflects some of these changes. Mr. Speaker, sir, another initiative that deserves credit is the new Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation. Establishing this ministry allows an appropriate focus on Fiji's essential tourism industry and collaboration with its stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am pleased to see the ongoing support for youth and sports to showcase our talented sportsmen and women at regional and international events. The opportunity to build on Fiji's brand through sports is significant, and while the budget allocation allows for a continuation of what FijiFirst began, I believe much more can and needs to be done to establish a clear and bold Fiji sports brand. FijiFirst provided this opportunity and supported the Fijian Rua and Fijian Rua teams' engagement in the Super Rugby competitions, something that we are all proud of now. The nation can be proud of what FijiFirst began in further developing Fiji's sports brand and providing exceptional international opportunities for our young sports people. Mr. Speaker, sir, while speaking on the area of our nation's youth, I also express my surprise and disappointment at the lack of initiative in areas critical to the development of our youth. Mr. Speaker, sir, our young people's rising mental health needs are a concern. I recently spoke to counselors overwhelmed with the increased mental health demands in our schools, higher education institutions, and communities. I see no clear coordinated approach as I examine this budget. There is an allocation for mental health awareness in the Ministry of Health and another allocation for gender violence awareness in education. However, these piecemeal approaches do nothing to address the mental health issues of our young people. Our young people need support, interventions, and care, and this budget, I believe, fails to address this issue. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, sir, the budget is silent on the issue of youth unemployment. As I visit the Nuku settlement in Botswana, I see and talk with young people in need of both opportunity and livelihood. As Fiji's population becomes more urbanized, there is an increasing population of young people who will not find their future in farming their own land or fishing their own sea. These young people need a government who can create, innovate, and secure pathways to livelihood in urban centers. The government has provided, coalition government has provided tax relief to Fiji Water, a well-established and profitable organization. While here in Suva, we have a young startup organization, Bula Outsourcing, which is taking risks and growing by employing our young people, training them and allowing our young people to find a livelihood and a future here. This budget has just increased their tax burden. This budget has favored a multinational and overlooked what is essential for our economy: strong